What's going on, everybody? It's Ms. Mara, and this is my new channel. I started it yesterday, made the description, wasn't planning on uploading my first video until I got my webcam, but my microphone and its boom arm came in today, so I was very excited about that, and I wanted to give it a try, get it going. I figured, what the heck, I'm excited, and plus the webcam is probably going to be here in a couple days anyway. I don't know if I'll upload a second video in between now and then. This one might just be on its own for a couple of days. We'll see. So I'm excited about that, and I figured I would go ahead and make a video and make a trip with Euro Truck Simulator 2 while I talked about the new channel and all the things going on with it, what I plan to do with it, what I hope it becomes. We're just hauling some, what are these? Marble blocks? Oh, just one. Well, it says marble blocks, but it's just one. Huh, that's weird. I think I hauled it one time and it had two on there, but this one's just one. Oh well. It's all by itself. But,
drive safe.
Yep, just a little quick trip. Give me a chance to play the game and discuss the channel. Just a little over 600 kilometers. Won't take too terribly long. Hopefully not too little or too much time to actually discuss everything. I made a note here. It's probably a good thing I don't have the webcam on, or have the webcam in my possession to have it on, because I would feel awfully awkward reading off these notes here. But I had to make little bullet points about my channel and what I want to do, or else I was going to forget what I was going to talk about and then get lost in my words and blah 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 blah, and that's no fun. Part of being an airhead. So, let's see. What to talk about first? The focus. I'm driving crazy here. Nervous. This is my first video. This is the first, well, not the first one. This is the first one that's going to go live. This is the first one that's not just a test that I'm going to delete. Had to do tests and test the audio and test the microphone and test everything. But the focus of this channel, to start things off, the focus is going to be gaming. Game. All about the games. It's going to be primarily a Let's Play channel. I'm not sure, don't know what the future holds, but I might branch out just a little bit in the future into more, I mean, obviously Let's Play will be the primary focus. Well, I can't say forever, but I would hope forever, or at least for the good long while of the channel.
And then turn left.
As long as it becomes successful, of course. Please forgive my awkwardness. I'm sure I'll get better at this over time, but right now I'm kind of struggling. But I was maybe thinking over time, branching out a little bit into, branching out a little bit into maybe commentary videos about like things going on in gaming, or relating to games I'm thinking about playing, or something along those lines, things about the game industry, but I'm not sure. Primarily I just want to focus on gaming right now. And the games that I want to play, at first at least, while I get my momentum going here, I want to focus on simulators, because simulators like Euro Truck Simulator and Train Simulator, they are some of the fewest games that I can actually play and have a conversation with someone else while I play them, and actually still be into the game and be able to focus, at least somewhat focus on what I'm doing. Because any other game that I play, like an RPG or something, I get so wrapped up in the game and I get immersed in my character and immersed in the story, and it's really hard for me to be able to like have someone watch me play it, or talk to someone while I play it, or try to point things out to them, unless I've already played through the game like a ton, and know the story inside and out, know all the locations, and I've beaten everything. Like, unless it's like that, it's really hard for me to focus on anything but the game itself, because I'm so immersed into it. That's all I want to do. Simulators are a little bit different. Simulators allow me to just focus on the simulation. Oop, get out of the way, little car. Focus on the simulation and not necessarily a story, not necessarily characters, not a script, not not a bunch of drama and like an emotional investment in what's going on in the scene. Simulators are different in that way. So at the very least, until I get used to this and build up more confidence and build up the ability to multitask a little bit better,
right,
which,
and then
as you can see, I'm
right.
struggling with a little bit now. Eventually, maybe,
Exit right.
I want to do Let's Plays of things other than simulators. But it will definitely take time. It's definitely not going to happen anytime soon. And even if I do, I probably won't Let's Play the very beginning of the new game. Like, let's say Starfield. Starfield's coming around probably in a year, maybe 2 years. Nobody knows what Bethesda's doing right now. I might Let's Play that. But I don't know if I will, like, the first day I play it, because it's going to be that brand new experience. I'm going to want to have it all to myself, and we'll just have to see what happens. Because, like I said, it might be, I'm thinking a year, but it might be 2 years. We don't know. Nobody knows. Oh, and yes, I generally speed just a little bit on this game. Usually not terribly much. But I'll speed like 5 to 10 kilometers an hour over. Usually 10, usually the latter. Rather than the former. Which is actually like 10 kilometers an hour is like, I think it's like 9 kilometers an hour is about 5 miles an hour. So in the States, people generally go 5 miles an hour over, like it's just the norm, at least where I'm from. Most people do it, and the cops don't generally do anything about it because they do it too. It's just kind of the thing everybody does. And so if 9 kilometers an hour is basically 5 miles an hour, then I don't really see the harm in going about 10 kilometers an hour over the limit, because that would be pretty much the equivalent. So, but back to talking about the channel a little bit. I was watching these YouTube tip videos before I decided to make this channel, because I've been thinking about this for a while, several weeks. It's been on my mind. I've been in a bit of a slump, partially because of what's been going on this year. It's affected everybody, of course, but long story short, I had things going on before it happened, and then after things happened, I went into a slump. But now I've got my fire back, I've got my excitement back, I've got my energy back, and I'm kind of excited, and I want to do things. Like, I'm actually motivated to want to do things now, and actually, well, just do things. I don't know how else to put it. And this is something I've been wanting to do. This is something I feel like now, finally, I might have the charisma and the spunk to do it without without being ashamed of what I produce and being embarrassed. I'll probably always be a little embarrassed though, just because I'm a goofy goober. But some of the YouTube chip channels I was watching, they talked about narrowing down your channel down to 3 niches, or niches, or I guess you call it a niche. I don't know. Basically 3 main topics, 3 main subjects, 3 main focuses, because if you branch out too much, then people will... It's hard to gain a good following and a good audience, because you spread your resources too thin. You know, you're doing too many things at once. You got way too many people that are watching you for too many different reasons, and if I have like 7 different things I do, and I only upload 1 video 1 day a week about 1 topic, because the other 6 days are taken up by the other 6 topics, it might make somebody uninterested in following my channel, because they go, well, this one person that I really want to watch about one thing is uploading the same subject like 3 days a week, and this person, even though they're cool, they're only uploading that one topic 1 day a week. So it makes a big difference. But primarily focus is Let's Play. And the reason why that is because it's what I love to do, really. When it comes down to it, that is what I love to do. It's what I've loved to do for my entire life, pretty much. Ever since I was like 4 years old and I first got into video games, playing my grandpa's Super Nintendo and then my father's first PlayStation. You go all the way back, and it's just been a part of my life. no matter what things I got interested in for a while and then eventually lost interest in, video games was always there. It never went away. It never faded. I might have changed genres a little bit. I wasn't always into simulators per se. I mean, a little bit. I dabbled in simulators early on, but simulators back in the day were just not, they were just not anything compared to what they are now. So I guess you could say I always have been a fan of simulators, but because they weren't that great for a long time. Partially just because of computing power and map sizes and things. I feel like now, the last couple of years, since they've really gotten good, that they're probably my favorite genre now. Like, open world RPGs are still very, very strong for me. I love, like, Skyrim. I'm not as big on the Fallout stuff as some people, but that's just how it goes. Usually with Bethesda games, everybody likes Elder Scrolls more, and then other people like Fallout more, but they usually like each series, mutually. It's just they have their favorite. With me, it's the Elder Scrolls. And other RPGs as well. I've played Dragon Age games and other BioWare games, like Mass Effect. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I played Star Wars The Old Republic for a while. It was an MMO. Well, I shouldn't say was. It still is going on. But, MMOs, I just got tired of them. Just got tired of them. Because I get tired of the grind. Grinding for materials, grinding for money, grinding for, they come out with updates and they unlock new stuff, and then you gotta grind to get the new stuff, and things are always changing, and you create a good character, you create a good build, and then you gotta constantly update it and change it, and you're always playing catch up. If you don't play every day or at least every week, you're always playing catch up. And they'll add more stuff to the stores, and then you gotta, if you don't have the money, or you don't have the if they let you use in-game money to buy it, usually they don't, but if they do, if you don't have the money to get it, or to buy it from another character, like someone else that has the real world money to buy it, and then they sell you the item, or they gift it to you, whatever, then you give them money. If you don't have a way to obtain it, but it's something you really want or something that would really help you, you gotta fork over real money. And that gets tiring too. Even if you have the money to do it, it just gets tiring after a while. That, like, you're like, man, I just spent, $20 on this microtransaction like last month, and I gotta do it again because now I need more coins, or I need more whatever to get this new thing. And single player games get around that. They don't have any of that, or at least the ones that I play don't, and no single player game ever should. Although I have heard of some that have had elements to them like that, and that was really wrong. But I haven't heard it very often, and that's good. Single player games should never have that, and that's why I like to play single player games. That's why I've went back to single player games. I used to be into multiplayer back in like 2007, like when Call of Duty was starting to come around, and Halo 3 and Halo Reach and all that stuff was really hot and stuff. I was really into those. I played a lot of those. I had cousins that I played with. I had friends I played with. But over time, multiplayer games, even without the microtransactions, even without those, even without the loot boxes, even without all that stuff, I was still getting burnt out on multiplayer type of games. I should specify, competitive multiplayer games, not cooperative. Cooperative multiplayer games I will still play if they're good. I still like, that's perfectly fine. I'll play with a friend. We'll co-op on a mission story together. That's I'll have fun with that. But competitive stuff like the death matches and the search and destroys and now with the battle royals and the Fortnites and PlayerUnknown's Battleground, and I'm just not into that. I'm just not. It ran its course, got it through my system. It's gone now. I've obviously as you get older, some people, not everybody, but some people, myself included, mellow out a little bit. I've mellowed out a little bit. I'm not as competitive. I'm not into the whole, the constant insults and everything that people shout at each other in multiplayer anymore. I just don't care anymore. I've went back to single player games for the most part because it's what's fun. I can immerse myself in it. I don't have to listen to people insult me because I'm not perfect at what I did. Like if we're trying to do something, and I'm, the weak link in the chain, but like not even really a weak link, like a just barely a weak link because I'm not perfect, because I don't play every day like they do, Just things like that. Just get on my nerves. I just don't care anymore. I'm going back to single player. Single player never judged me. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, as far as a channel trailer goes, I was thinking at first putting this one on as the channel trailer at first. Once I get my webcam, I think I'll make an actual channel trailer and put that on the front page. And, you know, obviously that'll change over time. You know, people make new channel trailers and update things and stuff all the time. So that'll change. Oh, and in addition to Euro Truck Simulator 2, which I'll talk about American Truck Simulator in a second. I'm sure some of you are wondering about that. Why I'm playing the Euro Truck one when I'm not European. When the American one is out, I'll get to that in a second. But I wanted to talk about Train Simulator, Dovetail Games Train Simulator, as well as the new Flight Simulator, the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. I ran some tests and I discovered that I probably could make a few videos out of Train Simulator that I didn't really think I'd be able to at first, because I can run the game. But when you capture stuff at the same time, obviously that takes up just a little bit more of the computer's power. And my processor is weak. It just is. When this computer... I mean, technically I built it, but I had two other people kind of telling me what to do, where to put things, and all that stuff. And when we sat down online and picked out the parts, I told them, you know, what I wanted, what my budget was, and they picked out the parts. But then when the parts came in, they made me physically be the one to actually put the parts in the PC and put them together. Like 90% of them. I think there might have been a couple of things that they helped me with. Some of the wire management and stuff. Anyway. So basically I built it, but at the same time I didn't, because I didn't really have any PC know-how at the time that it was made. And I still don't, really. Like, I'm still kind of a noob with that stuff. But I'm a lot more knowledgeable now than I was then. Goes without saying, I am a lot better off now. I at least have an idea of what I'm talking about. I can carry on an elementary / middle school level conversation. But I'm not anywhere near like college professor level like some people are when it comes to talking tech and talking graphics cards and stuff. But I can carry on a half decent conversation and at least have somewhat of an idea of what they're talking about, what I'm talking about, what's going on. And that leads to me making much better and much more educated decisions. Which is why I'm bringing this up, because when I made this computer, I was not making educated decisions. Not in the slightest. My processor is the weak link in the chain. It is the bottleneck. My graphics card isn't too shabby. The RAM isn't too terribly shabby. But the processor is weak. It is very weak. If I had probably spent 100, maybe 150 more on the total build at the time when we put it together, I wouldn't have to be talking about this. I could probably keep this computer just the way it is for probably one more solid year. And who knows, maybe even play Starfield with it when Starfield finally comes around. But because the processor is so weak and it has such a hard time multitasking simulations, especially simulations, because simulators require a lot of processing power, lots of multitasking. The more stuff you have going on the screen, the more, I tried playing Universe Sandbox is what it's called. And, it plays it okay. But when I try to get a lot of things going on that I really want to, have a lot of planets, have maybe like a binary star system, when I try to get more going on than just a basic, generic solar system, the frame rates really start to drop. And I know it's my processor, because I've investigated, and the graphics card is fine, the RAM is fine for that game. It's the processor. The processor is weak. It doesn't have hyperthreading. I don't know if Universal Sandbox needs hyperthreading, but it doesn't have hyperthreading. Which, I remember when I played Fallout 4 for the first time, it wasn't even like 6 months after I made this PC that Fallout 4 came out. And I was very disappointed when I saw the recommended specs on Steam that it said it wanted an i7 processor, and this thing was an i5. And I was like, really? I just built this thing. And it already has an outdated processor for what Fallout wants. Okay. So that was a bit of a bummer, and that was kind of like the first sign. You know, that was the first sign that, okay, I made a mistake here. This isn't going to work, like, as long as I wanted it to. It's not going to make it, like, 7 years or something like I want it to. It's going to make it maybe 5, 6. So, but that, at the time, that was fine. Because at the time, I was thinking, you know, Elder Scrolls 6 was going to be out by then. By the time I needed to upgrade. Well, obviously that's not true. Obviously that didn't happen.
Go straight on.
And we're getting Starfield instead. And even Starfield is coming out later than what I thought Elder Scrolls 6 was going to. You know, I was thinking because Skyrim came out in what, 2011?
Get ready to turn left.
I was thinking Elder Scrolls 6 like 2017. You know, Fallout 4 came out in 2015, so maybe 2018 for the next Elder Scrolls, but obviously that didn't happen. We got Elder Scrolls Online instead, and that's a whole other thing. But anyway, Train Simulator will be part of the channel. I'm not sure 100% what the capacity of it will be until I get a new computer. Because I can play it, I can run it, I can do small trips, I can do certain trains, I can do certain maps. It depends on what the map is, depends on what the train is, depends on how long the train is, it depends on a lot of things, whether or not my computer can actually come through with a decent video. Because like you could watch it, but the frames would be really dippy, and I wouldn't want it to be a crappy video, you know? So we'll have to see. Euro Truck is not a very demanding game, though, and neither is American Truck. I'll get that in a second. Which is why I'm starting off with them, because they're not that demanding. I can get away with a decent video with this. I can't get away with 60 FPS. The game is 60 FPS to me as I'm playing it right now. But on the capture, I can't play 60 FPS and capture 60 FPS at the same time. The computer only wants to do one or the other.
Get ready.
So,
turn left.
If I wanted to have a good 1080p presentation, I needed to have 30 FPS on the recorder. Obviously, the new computer that I'm planning on getting sometime around the holidays, or maybe even a little bit after, depending on availability of graphics cards and things, because that whole thing with NVIDIA's going on and stuff. Obviously, the new computer, if it turns out to be what I want it to be, it will be able to handle it, no problem. So, and the new flight simulator, that is something I want to be part of the channel as well. I played the original flight simulator like way back in the day, and it was a lot of fun. But obviously, simulators, like I mentioned earlier, come a long way, and this one looks phenomenal. But my computer just cannot handle it. I haven't even bothered downloading it. I just looked at the specs, and I watched videos, people talking about the specs that they had when they ran it to do videos and make reviews and stuff of it. There's just no way. My computer would drop dead trying to play that game. At, well, anything more than medium settings, it would probably drop dead. It could probably run medium, but then the game wouldn't look good. What's the point? If it can't look as good as what they made it to be, if it can't look as beautiful as what they made it to be, then what's the point? So, but with American Truck Simulator, the reason why I'm not playing that and I'm playing this instead is because American Truck Simulator, while it's a lot of fun, there's a few things about it that are just, I don't know, things I just don't like. Now, some of it's not the developer's fault. Some of it's not their fault. Like the fact that the map is smaller than Euro Truck's. Euro Truck has a much bigger map, but Euro Truck had like a 4-year head start. So, like, that's totally understandable. I'm not mad about that. But at the same time, the reality is that the map's smaller, and that takes away a little bit of the enjoyment. Another thing that is really annoying is the little beeper thing that goes off when you have to go to a way station. I wish, like, I don't have anything against the way stations. I just hate the beeping thing. It just drives me nuts, and it's really loud too, which makes it even worse. And at least at the time that this video is being made, there is no option in the sound that I found to turn it off. Obviously, the sound menu is very diverse compared to what it was when the game first came out. You can adjust all kinds of little sounds, you know, the engine sound, the ambient sounds, and other things. But there isn't anything in there that specifically targets the little beeping thing for the way stations. If there was, then I could check it off my list. I could mute it, check it off my list, and everything would be fine. But because I can't, it's annoying, and it drives me nuts. Another reason, now this isn't something that can really be changed, because this is just, you know, America versus Europe. With American Truck Simulator, even though the trucks look really cool, obviously I'm American, I grew up here, the trucks are cool, I love Kenworths and Peterbilts and stuff, but the problem is that I am not the best driver in small, contained areas. Like when it comes to backing up a trailer, or, well, yeah, backing up a trailer or trying to maneuver around to line up to back up a trailer in the right spot. I'm just not very good at it. I'm just not very good at it. So when you take a Kenworth W900 with a long nose and a sleeper cab attached to it to make it really long, well, really long compared to a European cab over, you take that and then you add like a 53-foot trailer, and then the game wants you to park it in this little bitty space. And it's like, what? Like, what? I can't do that. I would be sitting here for 20 minutes trying to, you know, figure out all the little, like, corners and little back and forth. Just, you know, and that takes away the fun. That just completely takes away, that just takes all the wind out of my sails. I'm just like, I was having fun 2 minutes ago, and now I'm confronted with this problem, and I'm not having fun anymore. So I just do the auto park. And I don't want to feel like I'm forced to do that. That's a bummer. I don't want to have to run a day cab so that I have a shorter truck or a shorter trailer, because that takes the fun out of it too. I don't want to have to do that. And I feel like I have to do that because I'm not very good at it. That's my fault. That's not the developer's fault. That's my fault. They had to make it realistic to how American trucking was. It's not their fault that I suck at parking the trailers. But, so you take... Oh, and another thing is the cabin accessories. See, I got like... Probably shouldn't be doing this while I'm going straight. But I got like... Let me stop for a second. I got like... The cooler and the bag and the phone and all that. You got cabin accessories. And American Truck Sim doesn't really have cabin accessories. I think with the newest Western Star truck they added, it's got a couple that would hang by the mirror.
Exit now.
But other than that, it doesn't really have them. And it's a bummer. I mean, I don't deck my truck out in crazy, like the, I don't know what they call it, the stuff that hangs around, and then they got all the ornaments, and they got the little, like, sports flags and crap on the window. I don't do any of that. Or like the hula hoop, or not the hula hoop, the Hawaiian bobblehead girl and all that stuff. I don't put none of that there. But it's just nice being able, it's nice to have the option, put it that way. It's nice to have the option to have those things if you want those things. And in this game, I have a few things, not very many things, just a couple things. And in American Truck, I would probably do the same thing. I'd probably just have like 2 or 3 things in the truck. Not a big deal. But it's just a bummer that I can't do that. And the fact that, I mean, the cabin accessories has been around since before American Truck was even a game that was released. And they still haven't put it in. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, why? You put the wheel customization in at basically the same time. You put the steering wheels and stuff at the same time. So why can't you put the cabin accessories in? What? Why can't you do that? You know, it's just like, it's just disappointing. So you take in the fact that the trucks have longer noses. The European ones are easier to handle. They have the cabin accessories. Also, the standard, like the longest trailer you can have in Europe is only like half. Well, I shouldn't say half as long. It's like, it feels half as long, but obviously it's not half. But it's shorter than the longest American one. And like the way my mind works, I'm like, if I have a shortened, like say like a 45-foot trailer, which is like 8 feet shorter than the maximum in America or whatever. You take a 45-foot trailer, and in my mind I'm like, all right, this is more maneuverable. I could do this. If I have a day cab truck and a 45-foot trailer, I'm good. But in my mind, because I know that's not the biggest it can be, because I know the truck has been handicapped and the trailer has been handicapped, because it's been cut short of what its potential could be, it bugs me. Because I'm kind of a go big or go home kind of person. Which is why when it comes to trains and Train Simulator, you'll find out the big boy from Union Pacific is my favorite, hands down. So yeah, it just bums me out. In this game, I don't have to worry about that. Because the biggest trailer is basically just the standard. And I know it's the biggest. And so I don't have to think about it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother my OCD about the fact that it's not the biggest, because even though it's smaller than the American one, knowing that it's the biggest it can be within this game's limitations makes me happy. Same thing with the cab over. You know, I got the biggest, like the high roof and stuff on this one. I don't know if you can tell from here. But, you know, you got the high roof, got the biggest engine that it has. It's got the 730. Oh, that's something else. American Truck Simulator does not have very powerful engines. Like, the biggest engine you can get is the 625 for the W900. And that's just really depressing. Because, like, in this game, I have a 730 horsepower engine for the Scania. And I can haul, like, 24 tons of something. No problem. It doesn't even, I mean, it struggles a little bit, but not, like, terrible. But in American Truck Simulator, 625 horses, trying to haul, like, 50,000 pounds, it's depressing that I'm struggling to go, like, 45 miles an hour on an 80 mile an hour freeway. You know what I mean? It's just, there's lots of little things about the American version of the game that get me down, that bring my mood down. It doesn't, the fact that I am American does not change that. I like the European game more. I feel like it satisfies me more, the things I like versus don't like, the pros and cons. So it's just my favorite. And, you know, really, 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 really deep down, that bugs me a little bit, because I would love to love the American one, because I'm American and have American heritage. But it's just not meant to be, I guess. Oh, that's another thing. In this game, that little mirror right there on the front of the, like the front of the window there, lets me see how close I am to the line. The American game doesn't have that. Of course, with the American one, you can have, what are they called? You can have those little, like, poles that are on, like, the sides of your bumper to let you know how close you are to, like, curbs and things. But they're not really that effective. Because, like, if I got a long-nosed Peterbilt or a long-nosed Kenworth, that little pole is kind of helpful. A little bit. But it's not terrible. Like, it's not terribly helpful. I still am tempted to go out to the outer view and use the mouse and look around. So I feel like if I have to do that, then it's not really effective, you know. But with this game, I can just use that little mirror. I don't have to use the external view to see. So it's just, I don't know. I just like the European one more. Which is depressing, like I said. Because when I was playing this game, waiting for the American one to come out, and I was excited, and I played the American one a lot at first when it was just California and Nevada. And they've added other places since then, obviously, but I just feel like it makes sense that they care more about the European one. At least I get that feeling. It makes sense more, though, because the studio is actually, well, I don't know if the entire studio is now, because they've grown, but at first they were just European, I think. Like, I think the founder was, I'm pretty sure the founder was Czech Republic, but I could be wrong. Although, there is one thing I do miss about the American one, is being able to run red lights turn the right on red, because in Europe you can't do that. But you know what? There's a way around that, and the way around that is turning off the traffic events. Turn off the traffic offense, and you don't have to worry about that. So, plus the cops really aren't that forgiving when it comes to like speeding. Like if you're going down a hill or something, and you're just trying to coast, so that when you get to the bottom of the hill and start to go back up, you know, you can save some gas because you're just coasting at the speed. The cops aren't very forgiving when it comes to that stuff. You go just a little bit over, and they hit you with a fine and stuff. So it's just annoying. Because in real life, at least here in the States, the cops in real life are just a little bit more forgiving about that because they understand what you're doing. You're not speeding. You're just coasting. And then you're going to go up the hill and you're going to lose your momentum, so you're not going to be speeding for more than a few seconds, you know. So,
Get ready to turn left.
but yeah, so my channel, I am hoping
Turn left.
will become
and
something.
then continue
If it
straight
doesn't, that's okay. Not everybody can be a winner. But you know what? Even if it becomes something
Go
moderate,
straight on.
even if it becomes something moderate, just like moderately successful, that'll be okay. It doesn't have to be no giant channel with 1 million subscribers, though. I mean, don't get me wrong, that would be nice, like super nice. Like I definitely wouldn't complain about that, which was good. But if it never gets there, you know, if I produce content for 10 years and it never gets there, oh well, it's not the end of the world. Life goes on. But as long as I have fun doing what I'm doing, that is what's important. As long as I have fun doing what I'm doing, and I've got at least, you know, if I've got some kind of following, new people I can meet, people that enjoy. Oh, that's something else. Streaming. I do, in the future,
Turn right.
want to stream in addition to make videos. I wanted to do videos first though, because I don't plan on streaming on Twitch. I want to basically be YouTube exclusive. I don't want, and that's not because I'm bought by YouTube or I have a deal or anything. I just don't want to me, it's a hassle. Like the thought of having multiple platforms to get messages out and do things. YouTube, you know, with the community page on your YouTube channel, you can basically share like a tweet kind of a thing, a Facebook post kind of a thing with your community page thing. And you can stream and you can do videos. Like it's an all-in-one. You don't have to have Twitch. You don't have to have Twitter. You don't. I mean, a lot of people do, but you don't have to. Now, if it becomes beneficial to me, like if it's just, you know, plain and simple, no argument, it would be beneficial to me to have a Twitter or to have I don't know, an Instagram or whatever. If that happens, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. You know what I mean? Like if it happens, if it's a thing that would benefit me, if it's something that is useful, then that's fine. Like if it's evidently clear that it would be a benefit, then okay, fine. You know, no argument from me. But at the moment,
Keep left.
At the moment,
and then turn
it's not
left.
something I'm interested in. I just want to do YouTube only. I want to post videos on YouTube.
Turn left.
I want to use the community thing to share updates and things with people, and I want to stream on YouTube. So, oh, hello. Was not expecting to see you sitting there. You know, I thought about doing VR with this game. I thought about getting a VR headset and doing this in VR because then I could look around and stuff, and it would definitely make the game easier to play. I wouldn't have to have these little mirrors up there, that's for sure, because I would just be able to look with my head and stuff, and it'd be a lot easier, especially when I'm turning the wheel, because I'm using the little pedals, like the little shift pedals that you would use in a racing game. I'm using them to look left and right. I wouldn't have to, because when the wheel's turned around, it's inverted, and I'll hit the wrong one and I'll look the wrong direction. So, I would like to do VR, but at the same time, if I have a webcam and I'm doing VR, then there's no point in having the webcam, because the whole point of the webcam, at least to me, the way I look at it, is so you can watch the person and see their face, see their facial expressions, and well, I mean, not necessarily make eye contact because you're not. It's not like you're doing a video chat or something, but
Turn right.
you know what I'm trying to say. You're making eye contact sort of because they would look at the camera, and like you're watching the video and they look at the camera, and so you're kind of making eye contact in a sense, and you get to see their facial expressions and everything. So I feel like VR conflicts with that. So I made a decision I wanted to do the webcam and not VR, because if I did VR, then I wouldn't have my face on the screen at all, and it would be purely video game footage with commentary. There would be no webcam, there would be no green screen, which is something I might get. I mean, I don't think what's in the background right now would be too bad, but a green screen would probably be better. It's just a matter of time passing to acquire the goods. You know, you can't just go ham and get everything all at once.
Exit now.
So I got my microphone and boom stand. Is it a boom or boom? I feel like calling it a boom. I guess it's boom stand. Boom arm. I don't know. Anyway, the arm thing, the crane arm thing, whatever, swivel around and stuff. Got that. So I'm ready there.
At the roundabout, take the first exit.
And now I'm just waiting on the webcam.
Exit now.
That will go on top of the monitor. I'm thinking it'll be on top of the monitor. I'm not sure. That might change. It'll depend on how good it looks, the angle and everything. So we'll see. And we are, at long last, we are here. 600 and some odd kilometers. With a distracted driver rambling on about things. Oh God. I don't know if I want to do that one. Whoops. Well, I don't have a choice now. I misclicked hard. Oh boy. Because even though it's harder in American truck, it's still not the easiest sometimes in this game either. It depends. It just depends on where you're dropping it off. Because some of the drop-off areas in this game are very, very easy. And some of them are really, really hard. It just depends. This one looks like it's going to be easy. Matter of fact, I'm going to... Got an idea what I'm going to do here. Because I like to... see what we're doing. Don't want to... Well, I guess I'm kind of jackknifing that... Oh well. It's got turnable wheels on the back of it. Like, I think 2 of the wheels are steerable on that trailer. Which is... that's one of the reasons why I put them there, because I knew it would help me a lot. But, I always like to put the trailer in from this angle so that I can turn the camera and actually see what I'm looking at, because the little mirror, it's helpful, but it's so small. Unless I had a giant monitor, you know. I'm using, I think there's 24-inch monitors. Unless I had like a 32 or even bigger, there's just no way that little mirror is gonna be able to help me see what I'm doing. I need to have this view if I want to have any hope of success on the first try without having to readjust the truck. I have to have this view. And even though I have this view, sometimes I still have to adjust the truck. Like right now, I can see right now I'm going to have to, well, technically I could pass and do it right there, but that wouldn't be any fun. Straightening it out is a lot better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Now we can just have it just like that. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put on my lights. I put these beacon lights on this truck specifically for this purpose, because I wanted it to look nice and definitely like make people aware, in addition to the hazard lights, to also have those lights, and so everybody knows, like, for definite sure, like, you know, stay out of my way. Because, you know, I might have brown hair, but deep down I'm a blonde. And my roots are blonde. So, yeah. I'm definitely a blonde. So, that's done. That's parked. Park and brake. Oh, that's another thing. This is really nitpicky, of course, but in American truck, I would have to move the camera down to see, like, if the handbrake was on. In this game, the handbrake is that little lever right there. I know that's like a real nitpicky thing, like big deal. You gotta move the camera to look, but those little things, when you add them up all together, individually by themselves, they don't really mean anything. They're just little nitpicky things. But when you got like 5 or 6 nitpicky things, it adds up after a while, and you're like, this game has a lot of little things about it that I don't like, and you add them all up, and you end up, not liking the game, because it ends up meaning something after a while. After you get so many little nitpicks, they end up meaning something and having weight to them. Even though at the end of the day, it's still a first world problem, right? But let's just keep it real. It's still a first world problem, but within the context of being a first world problem, it is what it is. Anyway, job's done, and I believe that is the end of this video. So, my first video and my, at least temporary channel trailer, I guess. I don't know if I can do that. I'll have to see if I can do that. I guess you'll know if I can do that or not. It won't be the channel trailer forever though, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But, yeah. So, to anybody that watched this, to anybody that liked or subscribed or whatever, thank you very much. This is the beginning of what I hope becomes at least something somewhat viable and more, just a tad more than just a hobby. I'm hoping. But if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. But you don't know unless you try, You gotta try. And I'm in the mood. I'm excited. I'm motivated. This is something I actually really want to do, and I think if I really give it my all, I can really make it something. It'll take time, but I got my fingers crossed. And I'm feeling hopeful and I'm feeling excited. So we shall see. We shall see. And you know what? I never thought about an outro. I thought about an intro. Saying, hey, this is Miss Mara, blah, blah, blah. I had never thought of an outro. Of what to say when it's time to say goodbye. So, I guess I'll just say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.